Have you ever noticed how suddenly, after the age of 50, your body begins to whisper things it never said before? You wake up feeling slower. The energy isn't the same. The waistline seems to thicken no matter what you do. And for many men, a doctor's visit brings a word they never wanted to hear: diabetes. Now, before you sigh and say, "It's just age," I want to tell you something very important. It doesn't have to be this way. The body is an incredible, self-healing machine. When we understand what it truly needs, the minerals, the timing, the rest, the balance, we can reverse more than we ever imagined. You see, diabetes is not a disease that arrives overnight. It's the result of long years of little things: late dinners, too much refined food, too little rest, too much worry. The good news is, what was learned can be unlearned. What was damaged can be rebuilt. Today, I want to share with you something extraordinary, a mineral most people have never even heard of, yet it plays one of the most powerful roles in blood sugar control. I call it the silent regulator. It helps the body open the doors that let sugar into the cells, keeps insulin from overworking, and restores balance at a deep cellular level. And yes, it can truly change your life. But before we dive into that, let's understand why so many men after 50 begin struggling with blood sugar and energy. The truth is, men over 50 often face a perfect storm. The metabolism naturally slows, muscle mass decreases, and that means the body uses less glucose. At the same time, stress hormones like cortisol increase, pushing up blood sugar even when you haven't eaten much. And then there's sleep, or rather, the lack of it. Late night screens, work stress, and overthinking can all disrupt the deep, healing rest that keeps your body's insulin sensitivity strong. Now, when insulin can't work properly, sugar stays in the bloodstream. That's where trouble begins. The body's cells are literally starving while sugar floats freely outside them. That's when fatigue hits. That's when the brain feels foggy and energy crashes in the afternoon. It's not just the food, it's the communication breakdown between the hormones and the cells. And here's where this new mineral comes in, because it restores that communication. Think of it as the key that unlocks the door to your cells. Without it, insulin keeps knocking, but no one answers. With it, the door opens, and the sugar goes where it belongs, into your cells to be used for energy. So, what causes this mineral to disappear from the body? That's an important question, because by the time we reach our 50s, most men have lost a significant amount of it. It's drained by stress, by processed food, by caffeine, and even by some medications. You could be eating a healthy diet and still be depleted. When this happens, the pancreas, that small but powerful organ that makes insulin, begins to work overtime. It pumps and pumps, trying to push the sugar into the cells. But if the key mineral is missing, the door stays locked. Over time, this leads to exhaustion, insulin resistance, and eventually diabetes. You see, diabetes isn't really a sugar problem, it's a mineral problem. The body isn't failing you. It's simply missing what it needs to function properly. Now, here's the part I love most about the human body. It never stops trying to heal. The moment you begin to supply the right building blocks, pure water, good rest, real food, and yes, the right minerals, it starts to repair, to rebalance, to come alive again. Many men think they're too old to change, but that's simply not true. I've seen men in their 60s and 70s turn their energy, focus, and blood sugar levels around completely, not with medication, but by understanding what their body truly needs. In a moment, I'll tell you what this remarkable mineral is and how it can help to reverse the course of diabetes naturally. But before we go there, I want you to think about something simple. How do you start your day? Because that's where healing begins. Not with a pill, but with a pattern. When you wake up, the first choices you make tell your body what kind of day it will be. Do you reach for coffee before water? Do you skip breakfast or eat in a hurry? Do you go straight to your phone, filling your mind with stress before you've even taken your first deep breath? These little choices matter more than you think. The body listens to your rhythms. It understands your routine. When we start to bring order, light, and rhythm back into our mornings, everything, from digestion to blood sugar to mood, begins to shift. So, before I reveal this hidden mineral, let's start with this. The healing of diabetes doesn't begin in a supplement bottle. It begins with awareness, with understanding that your body is not broken. It's simply out of balance. And the moment you begin to restore that balance, even just a little each day, the body begins to respond in the most beautiful way. Now, let's talk about that remarkable mineral I mentioned earlier, the one that can literally turn the key and help the body unlock its natural ability to manage blood sugar. It's not something new in the sense of discovery. It's been here all along, but it's new to most people's awareness because it's been quietly forgotten. That mineral is chromium. You see, chromium is like the missing conductor in the orchestra of your metabolism. Without it, the body can play all the instruments, insulin, glucose, the pancreas, but the harmony is lost. Everything becomes noisy, uncoordinated, and tired. Chromium helps insulin do its job properly. It sits right at the cellular doorway, allowing insulin to open up the cell and let the sugar in where it can be used as fuel. When chromium is low, insulin can't attach efficiently. The pancreas works harder, producing more insulin, but the doors still won't open properly. That's when blood sugar rises, not because the body isn't trying, but because it's missing its helper. Now, why do most people, especially men over 50, run low on chromium? Because chromium is a delicate mineral. It's lost easily through stress, refined foods, sugar, caffeine, and even heavy sweating. Every time you eat refined sugar, your body actually loses chromium trying to process it. So the more sugar you eat, the less chromium you have to help you handle sugar. It becomes a vicious cycle. The average diet today is full of foods that look whole but are, in truth, depleted. White flour, polished rice, packaged cereals, even many so-called healthy snacks, have been stripped of the very minerals the body needs to stay balanced. I often tell people, you can't get health from a packet. The minerals that heal and sustain life are found in foods that grow in real soil, vegetables that pull nutrients up through their roots, grains that are left whole, nuts and seeds that still have their natural oils intact. Chromium is found richly in foods like broccoli, barley, green beans, oats, and brewer's yeast. But here's something most people don't realize: the form of chromium matters. The body absorbs it best when it's part of real food, not a synthetic supplement. Nature wraps minerals in a perfect package, surrounded by vitamins, enzymes, and fiber that guide them exactly where they need to go. Now, imagine a man in his 50s who spent years on the run, grabbing food in haste, skipping breakfast, drinking coffee all morning, and sitting most of the day. By the time he hits his late 40s or early 50s, his chromium levels have quietly dropped. His pancreas has been overworked for years, and now he's starting to feel it: fatigue after meals, cravings for sweets, foggy thinking, and that slow creep of weight around the middle. He doesn't know that his body isn't failing him. It's just asking for help. The signals were always there, but in the noise of daily life, they were easy to miss. So how do we help the body replenish chromium naturally? The first step is to cut off the drain. Every spoonful of refined sugar or white flour acts like a thief, stealing chromium from the body. Replacing those with whole grains, fruits, and vegetables is like closing the tap on the leak. The second step is to restore with real foods. Start introducing chromium-rich foods daily. A bowl of steel, cut oats in the morning, lightly steamed broccoli or green beans at lunch, and whole barley or brown rice with dinner. Brewer's yeast sprinkled on soups or smoothies is another powerful natural source. The third step, and this is one of the most overlooked, is timing. You see, your body runs on rhythms. Every organ has a time of day when it works best. For example, the pancreas, the organ that produces insulin, functions most efficiently earlier in the day. That's why eating your largest meal in the morning or midday, rather than at night, helps your body handle sugar more effectively. When we eat late, especially heavy or sweet foods, we're asking the pancreas to work at a time when it naturally wants to rest. Over time, that habit alone can contribute to insulin resistance. So, a simple rule: eat like a king in the morning, a prince at noon, and a pauper at night. That one change, combined with real food, can dramatically shift your blood sugar levels within weeks. Now, some people ask me, Barbara, can I just take a chromium supplement? And while supplements can help in certain cases, I always say, give your body what it recognizes. Nature's packaging is always superior. Chromium in food is balanced, gentle, and comes with supporting minerals like magnesium, zinc, and selenium that work hand in hand to restore proper function. Speaking of magnesium, that's another mineral often lost alongside chromium, and it plays a vital role in how your cells use insulin. Magnesium calms the nervous system, relaxes blood vessels, and improves insulin sensitivity. So, when you're thinking about healing diabetes naturally, it's never about one single mineral in isolation. It's about the teamwork of minerals that the body relies on. I've seen men in their 60s start eating a hearty, real breakfast, oats with seeds, green smoothies with barley grass, a handful of nuts, and within a few short weeks, their afternoon crashes disappear, their cravings vanish, their mood lifts, and yes, their blood sugar readings begin to normalize. Why? Because they've stopped fighting their bodies. They've started feeding them. In the next part, I'll show you how to combine these minerals with powerful lifestyle rhythms, light, sleep, hydration, and stress control, to reset your body's internal clock and let your pancreas finally rest and repair. Now that we understand the power of minerals like chromium and magnesium, let's talk about something equally important: the timing of life. The human body runs on rhythms, circadian rhythms, digestive rhythms, hormonal rhythms. Every organ has a schedule, almost like a little worker that clocks in and out at specific times. When we live in harmony with those natural patterns, the body thrives. But when we go against them, eating too late, sleeping too little, living under artificial light, the body becomes confused and tired. For men over 50, one of the biggest mistakes I see is ignoring timing. They eat whenever they can, often late at night. They stay up long after the body's repair cycle has begun, and they start their mornings with stress instead of calm. Over time, this alone can create blood sugar instability. So let's start with morning, because that's where balance begins. When you wake, before you reach for your phone or coffee, take a glass of pure water. Your body has been fasting all night, it's dehydrated, and your blood is thicker. That first glass of water helps your kidneys flush toxins and allows your blood to flow freely. It also signals to your digestive system, it's time to wake up. Next, step outside into natural light, even for just a few minutes. Sunlight on the eyes and skin helps regulate your body clock. It lowers cortisol later in the day, improves sleep at night, and stabilizes blood sugar throughout the day. The body recognizes the sun as its signal. It's nature's master switch. Now, let's talk about breakfast. Many people skip it, thinking it helps with weight control. But for someone healing from insulin resistance, skipping breakfast is like skipping fuel for the brain and muscles. Your pancreas functions best in the morning hours, so that's the time to eat your most nourishing meal, not late at night when your metabolism is slowing down. A powerful morning meal might include cut oats cooked with cinnamon and topped with nuts and seeds, Cinnamon itself helps improve insulin sensitivity. Add a handful of berries for natural sweetness, and you've got a meal that fuels your body, steadies your blood sugar, and satisfies for hours. During the day, move often. Movement is not just about exercise, it's about signaling. Every time you move, you send a message to your cells. Use that sugar for energy. Even a short walk after meals helps the muscles draw glucose from the blood, reducing the load on the pancreas. And please don't underestimate deep breathing. Stress is one of the biggest blood sugar disruptors there is. When you're anxious or rushing, cortisol levels rise, and cortisol tells your body to release more sugar into the bloodstream, even if you haven't eaten anything. It's part of the ancient fight or flight response. The problem is, in modern life, we stay in that state all day long. So every few hours, take a moment to breathe deeply, in through the nose, out through the mouth. You can even say quietly, "I'm safe, I'm calm." It may sound simple, but those few seconds tell your nervous system to stand down, to relax, and that calmness directly lowers blood sugar. Now let's move to evening, because that's where most people sabotage their progress. The pancreas, as I mentioned, has its rest time, and that begins around sunset. That means our largest meals should be eaten earlier, ideally before the sun goes down. If you eat heavy food at 9 or 10 p.m., you're asking your pancreas to work when it wants to sleep. You're asking your liver to digest instead of detoxify over time. That confuses the body's natural repair cycle. Try this instead. Make dinner your lightest meal, a simple soup, a vegetable stir, fry, or a small serving of brown rice with steamed greens. After that, let the body rest. Drink herbal teas if you wish, like chamomile or peppermint, which soothe digestion and calm the mind. And please, protect your sleep. Sleep is not a luxury. It's your body's nightly repair program. During deep sleep, your cells reset their insulin receptors. If you miss that window, your blood sugar the next day will be higher. Even if you haven't changed your food, it's one of the most direct and overlooked connections in health. To improve sleep, dim the lights an hour before bed. Avoid screens. They tell the brain that it's still daylight. Read, pray, stretch, or simply sit in quiet reflection. The body loves routine. When it knows that bedtime follows a calming ritual, it begins to release melatonin naturally. Hydration also plays a quiet but powerful role. Many people confuse hunger with thirst. The cells can't use nutrients or insulin efficiently when they're dehydrated. Aim to drink small sips of water throughout the day rather than large gulps at once. Add a pinch of natural sea salt or a squeeze of lemon to help the water reach your cells more effectively. Now, all of this may sound simple: water, light, sleep, movement, but simplicity is where healing lives. You don't need complicated regimes or expensive programs. You need rhythm, nourishment, and consistency. I often remind people, you don't heal by doing something once. You heal by doing small, good things every day. The body doesn't respond to intensity, it responds to consistency. And here's something encouraging. When you begin to follow these rhythms, your body will start talking to you again. You'll notice you wake earlier, breathe deeper, and your cravings for sugar or caffeine fade. You'll begin to sense when you're full, when you're tired, when you need rest. That's your body coming back into harmony with nature. In the next part, we'll explore how to rebuild cellular strength, how the combination of minerals, movement, and whole food nutrition helps the pancreas regenerate and the cells regain their sensitivity to insulin. Because diabetes isn't a life sentence, it's a wake-up call to return to the way the body was. Now that you understand the importance of minerals and daily rhythm, let's talk about one of my favorite subjects, the body's ability to rebuild itself. It's something I never tire of saying. The body is always on your side. Even when you feel tired, even when your blood sugar is high, even when the tests come back with worrying numbers. Your body is still working, still trying, still repairing. All it needs is the right conditions. You see, every cell in your body has a plan for healing. The pancreas can regenerate. The liver can regenerate. Even the lining of your gut can rebuild itself every few days. The problem isn't that your body can't. It's that we often don't give it the materials or the time it needs. Let's begin with the cells themselves. Imagine your cells as tiny houses. Each one has walls made of fat, doors made of protein, and windows that allow nutrients in and waste out. When you eat processed food, trans fats, or too much sugar, those walls become stiff and inflamed. The insulin receptors on the surface, those little locks that open the door to sugar, start to malfunction. But when you begin to eat living food, food that still has its natural oils, its minerals, its enzymes, those cell walls soften and rebuild. They become flexible again. The locks start to work. Insulin can finally connect. That's why I encourage everyone healing from diabetes to focus not just on less sugar, but on better fats. Healthy fats from avocados, olive oil, flaxseed, chia seeds, and raw nuts provide the material for those flexible cell walls. They allow the body to rebuild the communication system between insulin and your cells. Now, let's come back to that mineral we talked about, chromium. Chromium improves how efficiently insulin works, but it doesn't work alone. It's part of a whole orchestra of nutrients. Magnesium, zinc, manganese, and vanadium all play a part. When one is missing, the others can't perform properly. Zinc, for example, is critical for the pancreas. It's used to make insulin itself. Without enough zinc, the pancreas struggles to produce and release insulin efficiently. Foods rich in zinc include pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, lentils, and chickpeas. Manganese supports enzyme activity in the liver, the organ that stores sugar as glycogen and releases it when needed. Foods like oats, brown rice, pineapple, and leafy greens provide manganese in abundance. Then there's vanadium, a trace mineral that mimics some of insulin's actions in the body, helping lower blood sugar and support healthy cholesterol levels. It's found naturally in foods like mushrooms, dill, black pepper, and whole grains. When you bring these minerals back into your daily diet, you give your cells the building blocks they've been waiting for. The body knows exactly what to do with them. It doesn't need to be told. It simply needs to be supplied. But there's another piece to the puzzle: the gut. If your gut isn't healthy, your minerals aren't absorbed properly. You can eat all the right foods and still be deficient if your digestive system is inflamed or unbalanced. Many people don't realize that their gut lining regenerates every 3 to 5 days. That's an incredible gift. You can literally have a new digestive lining in less than a week if you stop irritating it and start nourishing it. The key here is fiber, not the kind in a bottle, but real natural fiber from fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes. Fiber feeds the good bacteria in your gut, keeps blood sugar steady, and helps your body eliminate toxins that block healing. I always say, your gut is the root of your health. If the root is nourished, the tree flourishes. Now, let's talk about one of the most powerful healing tools you already have, your daily movement. When you move, your muscles act like sponges, soaking up sugar from the bloodstream without even needing insulin. That's right, movement allows your body to use sugar directly. This means that every step, every stretch, every climb of the stairs is literally medicine for diabetes. You don't need to run marathons or spend hours in the gym. The best movement is the one you'll do consistently. Walking after meals, stretching in the morning, or gardening in the fresh air. I often tell people, move in the way your grandparents lived. They didn't exercise. They simply moved all day. They walked, lifted, worked the soil, fetched water, and lived in motion. That's what the body was designed for. Another secret to regeneration is oxygen. Deep breathing increases oxygen to your cells, and oxygen is essential for burning sugar efficiently. Poor posture, shallow breathing, and stress all reduce oxygen flow, which slows down healing. So take time each day to breathe deeply, filling your lungs, expanding your belly, and letting your shoulders relax. And we can't forget sunlight. Sunlight doesn't just lift your mood, it activates vitamin D, which helps regulate insulin and supports the immune system. Spend at least 15 to 20 minutes in morning sunlight each day if possible. The sun is one of nature's simplest, most powerful medicines. So, how does this all tie together? Chromium opens the doors for insulin. Zinc and magnesium strengthen the pancreas. Healthy fats rebuild cell walls. Fiber and natural foods restore the gut. Movement and oxygen clear excess sugar. Sunlight and sleep balance hormones. When all these elements come together, the body doesn't just manage diabetes, it begins to heal. The blood sugar normalizes because the system is finally working as designed. I've seen people who once relied heavily on medication slowly reduce their dosage with their doctor's supervision. Simply by living in harmony with these principles, their energy returns, their mood stabilizes, their mind becomes clear again. That's the miracle of natural healing. It's not a quick fix, but it's a true fix. You're not patching the symptoms, you're restoring the foundation. In the next part, we'll bring everything together. I'll show you how to build a daily plan that supports your pancreas, protects your heart, and keeps your energy steady all day long. We'll also talk about how to maintain this healing lifestyle for life, not just for a few weeks. Because healing is not an event, it's a journey. And it begins with understanding how wonderfully your body was made. We've come a long way together, from understanding the root cause of diabetes, to discovering the powerful role of minerals like chromium, to learning how rhythm, light, rest, and nourishment restore balance. Now it's time to bring it all together into a living plan, one you can start today, because real healing doesn't come from knowing, it comes from doing. So, let's walk through what a day of healing looks like for your body, your pancreas, and your peace of mind. When you open your eyes in the morning, begin with gratitude. Say quietly to yourself, "My body is healing." Those words may seem small, but they begin to shift the energy inside you. The mind and body are deeply connected, and when you believe in your body's ability to heal, you send a message of restoration to every cell. Then, have your first glass of pure water, maybe warm, maybe with a squeeze of lemon. It wakes up the liver, helps the kidneys flush, and gently jumpstarts digestion. Step outside, take in the morning light, and breathe deeply. Even 5 minutes of sunlight in the early hours sets the tone for your hormones, your energy, and your mood for the entire day. When it's time to eat, make breakfast a meal that matters. Choose foods that feed your cells. Cut oats with cinnamon and flaxseed, eggs with leafy greens, or a smoothie with spinach, barley grass, and berries. Add a few raw nuts for healthy fats. This combination supports chromium absorption, balances blood sugar, and fuels the brain for clear focus. Move gently after breakfast. You don't have to do intense exercise, just move. Walk, stretch, water the garden, sweep the yard. Movement after meals tells your muscles to open up and draw sugar from the bloodstream naturally through the day. Eat when your body is truly hungry, not by the clock but by awareness. Choose whole living foods, brown rice, lentils, steamed vegetables, and salads rich in color. Add herbs like turmeric, fenugreek, and cinnamon. Each of these supports insulin sensitivity and calms inflammation. Avoid snacking mindlessly, especially on processed foods. Let your digestive system rest between meals. Every time you give your body a break from constant eating, you allow insulin levels to stabilize and your pancreas to recover. In the afternoon, when many people reach for coffee or sweets, reach for water instead. Fatigue after lunch isn't a sign that you need caffeine. It's a sign your body needs hydration or rest. Step outside, breathe, or simply sit in stillness for a few minutes. Then comes evening, the time to slow down. As the sun sets, so should your body's activity. Have your lightest meal before dark, perhaps vegetable soup, brown rice with steamed greens, or a simple salad with olive oil and lemon. Eat peacefully without distraction. After dinner, don't rush back to screens. Let your body digest in quiet. Walk for a few minutes, or sit and talk with someone you love. Healing isn't just about what you eat, it's about how you live. Connection, laughter, and calm are just as nourishing as food. Before bed, turn off bright lights. Allow your home to grow quiet and dim. If you read, choose something peaceful. Maybe reflect on your day and notice how your body feels. Warmer, lighter, calmer. That's your body beginning to thank you. And when you lie down to sleep, breathe slowly and deeply. Tell your body, you can rest now. You're healing. That's a perfect day. Not perfect because it's strict or flawless, but perfect because it's balanced, gentle, and kind to your body. Now, many people ask me, Barbara, how long does it take to see change? And I always say, the body responds the very moment you begin to listen to it. You might feel more energy within days. You might sleep deeper within a week. Blood sugar readings often begin to shift within a few short weeks, not because of magic, but because you've stopped fighting your own biology and started working with it. Remember, you are not your diagnosis. Diabetes is not who you are. It's a signal, a message that your body has been out of rhythm, missing key minerals, and longing for restoration. And the wonderful truth is, restoration is possible. I've seen men in their 70s and even 80s regain their strength, balance their sugar, and return to the energy they had in their youth. Not because they found a miracle pill, but because they finally began to trust the miracle within. So if you take one thing away from this message, let it be this: your body is designed to heal. Every single day, in every single cell, it is reaching toward balance, toward harmony, toward life. Feed it real food. Give it pure water, let it rest, move it gently, and most importantly, believe in it. That's how diabetes begins to lose its power. Not by fighting against your body, but by learning to work with it. Now, as we close, I want to encourage you to take what you've learned here and put it into practice. Not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Start small. Begin with that morning glass of water. Take a walk after your meal. Add one chromium-rich food to your plate. Let each small action become a brick in the foundation of your healing. Because healing doesn't come in a rush. It comes quietly, faithfully, moment by moment. And one day soon, you'll look back and realize the energy has returned, the mind is clear, the sugar is balanced, and you'll know that your body, this remarkable creation, has done exactly what it was designed to do. So, take heart. You're not broken. You're simply rediscovering balance. And when you give your body what it truly needs, it will do the rest.